Now, and really, if there's any one theme from this section of our show today, it is that the U.S.-led world order is kind of just crumbling all around us. You can see it in things like, I don't know, our Secretary of State standing up for the coup plotter, and also in things like this from The Guardian. Israel's strike on Hamas leaders in Doha, Qatar on Tuesday, which also killed a Qatari officer, marked an unprecedented moment for the Gulf Kingdom. The attack undercut the assumptions that has underpinned Qatari foreign policy for 3 decades and reverberated across the Arab region. Be useful to the United States, and it will protect you. Well, that is now in question, yeah? Israel's attack on Qatar, a major non-NATO ally of the U.S., targeted Hamas leaders who had gathered to discuss a new ceasefire proposal in the war on Gaza put forth by the U.S. The leadership survived, but 6 people were killed, including a Qatari security officer. So, for decades, this arrangement has held in the Middle East, right? The U.S. supplies arms, puts its aircraft carriers in the Gulf, provides political cover, and that support has helped spare many Gulf nations from the unrest that has consumed much of the Middle East, despite their rivalry with Iran, right? Well, that changed when the U.S. failed to stop the strike on Qatar this week, despite Israel being one of its closest allies. Now, Donald Trump said he tried to give a warning, but Qatar said it was only notified after the strike. The message taken from this was not that Washington cannot control Israel, which it arms and equips to the tune of tens of billions of dollars, but it does not want to rein it in. Trump's ability to call back Israeli jets on their way to bomb Tehran last month showed or was that the month before? Regardless. Anyway, it showed he has the leverage when he chooses to use it. So, Rubio, we discussed in our last story, just landed in Israel, I want to say, this morning, to discuss the war on Gaza after this Israeli strike. Rubio's trip comes after Trump criticized Israel over the brazen and failed attack on Hamas leaders. So, Netanyahu is still vowing that this perhaps won't be an isolated incident, despite U.S. promises that it won't happen again. Kurt, what the hell's going on here, man? Like, I mean, we know Israel's gotten out ahead of the U.S. Several times over the last couple years, but I mean, they're bombing a U.S. ally now.
Israel is a problem on so many levels and so many different angles, and both parties are to blame and should have blame put on them, and it's a touchy subject to talk about, because people, you want to talk about something that people get fired up about. The situation in Gaza and Israel. This is one of the hot topics in our country right now. This has caused so much issues in our own country. But this is what happens when you give, I don't want to say free reign, but when you continuously just pour money into and give money to someone like Netanyahu, the ego starts to take over, and they feel like they can basically do whatever they want to do. And the fact that the dude said, I tried to get a hold of, it's funny how in one situation, it's the tough guy, and he shows how, he's going to take control and he's going to get this done. And, well, I tried. I mean, give me a break. It's laughable to a lot of us. It's simply laughable, but things are only going to get worse. Tensions are rising across the world right now, not just in the Middle East, but across the world. And this guy is making enemies of many, many allies that we've had for decades. and changing the Department of Defense to the Department of War. What kind of message do you think that sent to our global friends and allies and adversaries? So
Yeah.
it's
a rare moment of honesty.
yeah, it's